Welcome back to the Grim Workshop. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Escape and Evasion card. This is the latest card in the Seer series, which focuses on survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. So this definitely has more of an urban theme to it. This card, like all the other Grim cards, is sized to fit in the credit card slot of your wallet. You could slide this in a personal survival tin. This would work great as a standalone card, but if you pack this with the other cards in the Seer series, you're going to have a heck of an urban survival kit right in your pocket. So all these tools are going to come out, and they're going to be usable individually, so you can use them, you can practice with them, and when you're done with them, you can put them back on the card, reuse them, press it on the tool retention system, and it's on there till you need it next time. So the Escape and Evasion cards are going to be great for anybody that's traveling overseas, maybe if you're doing aid work, if you are concerned with personal abduction, if you're concerned with home invasion. This is going to get you out of nearly any type of restraint, be it handcuffs, zip ties, rope, duct tape. This will even help you get through padlocks as well as combination locks. Before I break this card down tool by tool, if we just look at the card itself, I've got indentations on both ends, and that's for a cordage wrap. Now, cordage is critical to any survival situation in any area, but for urban situations specifically, I would always go with Kevlar cordage. It's thin, it's very strong, and most importantly, you can use it to cut pretty easy. I can cut through PVC pipe, I can cut through flex cuffs with no issue using Kevlar cordage. Down here on the bottom edge, I've got a cutting surface, and you can use that for crafting items, but its primary use is going to be to cut through binding. So this is going to cut through rope, that's going to cut through duct tape. You could work through flex cuffs with that sharpened edge. This is my favorite tool on the card. This is the Escape multi-tool. And if you look how thin this is and how flexible this is something you can take off the card. You could conceal this on your body. This is pretty flexible. I could slide this into my hat band. I could put this under a watch. I could put that behind a bracelet, under my belt, and a sock. There's a lot of options to hide this thing on your body. Now, if we look at this end here, this is a handcuff key. And bad guys have handcuffs too, so that is something that we have to deal with. On this end, I've got a shim. So this shim will open up handcuffs. I can open flex cuffs with a shim. I can also get through certain types of padlocks with a shim this size. So that's great to have. Now I've got a file on the face of this, and I've got a really fine serrated edge on the end. So between those two items, that's going to help me craft things and make other tools, especially with that file. And then I'm able to abrade cordage. I'm able to abrade flex cuffs, duct tape restraints. This will weaken them, and I will be able to break through. So I've also got a saw, and the Escape multi-tool kind of had a serrated edge on it. And this is like a real deal saw here. So this is going to cut wood. This is going to cut through plastic. This would saw through PVC pipe. This would saw through flex cuffs. And if you look how thin this is thin and bendable. Once you start breaking these components off the card, you're able to conceal almost all of them on your body. So this is a pretty slick tool here. This is the gate latch hook. And with this, you can attach a piece of cordage to this, and then you can dangle this over a gate, and you can open a gate from the top of a fence. That is pretty slick. I've never really seen a tool like that. So we have a couple items in this card that's going to help you deal with handcuffs. And this is a dedicated handcuff key. And if you see this little cut on top, what that does is that allows you to slip this down over some clothing, and it's going to catch into place. So this allows you to conceal this in your waistband. You could slide this in the collar of your shirt. You could put this in the brim of your hat or in the hat band. You could slide this under a watch. This is going to clip in a lot of places that people just aren't going to casually look. So if you were in a situation where you were abducted and had a quick search, this has a very good chance of getting through. This next tool is a padlock bypass device. And what this does in certain types of low quality locks, this goes right through the keyway all the way to the back, and you can actually just lift the gate and open the shackle on the lock. There's no picking, there's no skill. This does not work with all locks, but certain low quality locks, this will get you in really quick. So this next tool on top here is very similar to the one on the bottom, but not quite the same. So this is a bypass tool. The one on top here, this is commonly called a decoder. So they look similar, but when you look at the thickness, they're not even close. The decoder is maybe half the thickness. And what this is designed to do, this is a specialized tool. This gets you into certain types of combination locks. Now I'm going to go over how to use all these bypass tools in a specialized skill series for the SEER cards. I've got two tools here that are pretty similar, and these are handcuff shims. So if the handcuff keys didn't work for you, a shim is going to work for you. And this will also work with certain types of flex cuffs. So the one on the bottom is more of a standard shim. This top one's called a split pawl. And certain types of handcuffs, the split pawl is required. Most of the handcuffs, the standard shim is going to work. So this last item is kind of a multi-purpose pick. Probably its main purpose for me would be just the low security interior lock doors. Sometimes you just don't have the right tool or the stretch to push in there and deactivate that button. So this will absolutely reach in there and pop that lock.